Guys, it's Ash Pause. Welcome back to another video. Sorry, it's been a while since I've uploaded, but today we're just going to do some updates about the pets and stuff like that, and I'm just going to be doing a general vlog. So I don't remember if this was in my last video or not, but for a while Lincoln was staying in this old guinea pig hutch. It started getting really dangerous. One time he actually swung this open and fell on the ground. Luckily he wasn't hurt, which I'm very grateful for, but it just started getting really dangerous also because he was getting onto the ramp and he'd flop back onto his shell, which is really bad for tortoises. Like, they can't breathe when they're in that position. I made this place safer for him by digging a canal, so he can't get out using the bricks because they're too high. So just this part is like risen up. And dang, the squirrels are eating my tomatoes again. That's really sad. Cannot grow tomatoes without like everything eating it. Or really any vegetable or fruit for that matter. But anyway, so Lincoln's in here right now. He hasn't come out in a while, but he's fine. He's just really comfortable, and he does not want to come out. This is just plywood, and there's a log under here just holding it up, and we've got a bunch of hay and moss. I think I might line the inside of it with moss just to make it a little bit softer because he has like a really nice hole. And let's see if I can show him to you. That's his shell. Right there. But I'm definitely not taking him out right now. I might take him out when it's like a bit warmer, and so that I can give him his food. So the playhouse is getting a little out of hand. It's actually really hard to clean. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember to clean it, so it's empty right now. It's actually getting really cold, and a couple nights ago there was actually a humongous thunderstorm. And there was lightning and thunder and lots of rain, which I'm actually really grateful for because where I live it doesn't rain a lot except for a little bit in the fall probably, but a lot in winter. But I hope it does rain a lot in winter. So yeah, it's very cold outside right now too, so we don't have the guinea pigs in here. We have them in a very temporary setup that I will show you. So this is where the girls are staying for now. Again, this is extremely temporary, and I would never keep them in a cage like this long term. What I'm probably going to do today, since it's the weekend, I'm going to clean out Basil and Milo's cage. And if you don't know who Milo is, which you don't know who Milo is, I'll go and show you. Yeah, don't keep your 4 guinea pigs in 2x2s. That's really bad for them. I turn on the fish light. There we go. Open my blinds here. It seems like every time I open this, the trees are a different color. Because they're actually turning yellow now. It's fall. This is Milo, and this is Basil's buddy. And if you haven't heard Basil's story yet about how we rescued him and stuff, the link to his story video will be in the description. So yes, this is the buddy that we got for Basil that I promised. Basil's back there. There he is. We actually do pretty good together, except for right now Basil's being a little dominant, but when you have when you just have 2 guinea pigs that have never met to each other that you're trying to bond, then there's gonna be like a little bit of dominance here and there. So Milo is not an adult, and it's really hard to keep adult boars together because they're probably gonna start fighting. And of course they were fighting a little bit too, but there was like no blood or anything like that. They were just kind of mounting and stuff like that. And I knew I was going to separate them if I saw any blood or fur pulling or stuff like that, but I didn't. But they're actually doing pretty good now. Like, they're actually doing a lot better than they did, even though Basil is kind of dominant a little bit here and there, but besides that, it's completely fine. Milo is our second Abyssinian guinea pig. He's so cute. Hey, Milo! And he's a lot like Olive. He's pretty skittish. Well, he's a little bit more skittish than Olive. Like, Olive is pretty tame, but they also really love jumping into the hay rack, which I do need to refill their hay. The hay bin is where the female guinea pigs are at. We just went to the store yesterday, and we got some food for Walter. These mealworms we've had for a while, and I've been feeding it to him for a while, but they do have an ingredient in them that can cause liver damage, so I'm going easy on it now. And we also got some crickets here. About 30 of them, which is really nice. For some reason, they're not eating the orange cubes like the other batches of crickets that I had. They would totally devour them, like within a couple days. I give the orange cubes to the mealworms too, because they're still pretty nutritious. They last them a couple of days, so I feed them like once a week or so. And we also got some calci worms, or just calcium worms. I think they're like pretty high in calcium, that's why they're called calcium worms. But that's good because I don't need to worry about sprinkling his food with that much calcium. But yeah. So get the little orange cubes. They look like just really small wax worms, which is kind of gross. I don't like wax worms. The hard part about having a tiny frog, oh, there he is. I don't know, you probably can't see him, but he's in this little crack between the leaves in his house over there. There he is. In a 20-gallon tank. I try to keep it very natural since he is a wild coarse frog. And no, I don't recommend taking frogs, or any animal for that matter, from their natural habitat because it's not very good. I got Walter over a year ago in April of 2017. Might have been 2016, but I think it was 2017. And the only reason I still have him now is that we've had him for so long and he's been in captivity for a really long time. I don't want to put him back in the wild because he might die very easily and he might introduce diseases back into the ecosystem. So I just don't want to do that. So yeah. It's a tadpole, so gosh, my voice is so scratchy. I got him as a tadpole, so he's like about a year and a half old. And here's the doggers. Hi, Coco. Hey, Licorice. Just gonna let them outside now. Oops, sorry, Coco. I just bonked you in the face. Hey, sit. Sit. Stay. And there they go. Dang it. I normally try to make sure that they don't bark when I put them outside. And they didn't really bark this time, which is good, but they always start running, and that makes the neighbors' dogs bark, and yeah. Basil and Milo's cage here. I'm going to sweep up, disinfect all the vinyl tiles with some vinegar, and clean out all the bedding in there and replace it with wood shavings. I really don't like using wood shavings, but we don't have anything else, sadly. I think we might get some horse bedding for them, like hemp or like Megazorb or something like that. However, that's a UK brand. That's just it's like a wood pulp bedding. I'm not really sure what to get for them, but I think we might go to the horse center soon, sometime, so that we can find some good bedding for them, because the paper bedding is really nice and the aspen bedding is just like, it's pretty expensive and you don't really get that much since we have like 6 guinea pigs, so it doesn't last very long. We're just going to clean out all of this, and so the girls can go in here. And you're probably wondering why I don't have them in the same room. It's because the boars, especially Basil gets crazy when he smells or hears or sees the females. And we had the females in here for just a little bit, and we had to take them out right after because he was going crazy and he started getting super dominant toward Milo. So yeah, that wasn't good. We're gonna extend the 2x2 cage that's in the office right now, and then we're gonna have the females in here, and then Basil and Milo and Basil are going to go in that extended cage in the office. Part of the reason why I want them in the office is because they kind of smell worse than the females, and I don't really want them in my room. The females are like a lot tamer, and they've always been in my room. Pence, the cutest fishy ever. What is that, Pence? Is that food? What even is that? I did not put food in there. Tetras. They're so cute. Pence is like, we've had him since February, I think, of 2017, so he's actually really old, and he also got over ick. So he's like the strongest fish ever. This camera is like kind of broken, so it's really bad at focusing, and I apologize. Alright, so I'm gonna feed them now. Little drawer here where I keep all my fish stuff. We've got some methylene blue, which I use to treat fungal infection in an African dwarf frog that I had who sadly didn't make it. I guess it did kind of help, but not really. We got some carbon rocks because I don't have any filter cartridges and they're super expensive, so I just wash the filter fibers and then I put in the carbon, the right amount of carbon. We got some African dwarf pellets, or just a aquatic frog, a tadpole food, but we don't have frogs anymore, so not using that. I have some beta flakes, but I just use tropical flakes now because we don't just have betas anymore. betta pellets, and we've got betta fix, which is like the best thing to have on hand if you have betta fish. Like if you find like, you know, any parts on your betta fish where like scales have been rubbed off, then this actually works pretty well. Like it treats bacterial infections, stuff like that, and it's good for fin rot. Just make sure to follow the directions, and no, I'm not a vet, and I'm not sponsored by this at all, like not promoted, but it's just really good to have on hand if you have betta fish. Here's some bloodworms, which, oh, the tetras and the bettas both love, or the tetras and the betta. As you can see, there's pictures of a tetra and a betta on there. Beneficial bacteria, which you can't have a fish tank without this, but just do your research, please. And our tropical flakes. You have some shrimp, which I actually got from my old dwarf frog, because I thought that it would be good, but the pieces were like too big for him, and we don't have turtles, so I don't really know what to do with it. It's just kind of sitting in there. We have a few syringes in here that I use for like the methylene, and then like this pill and specimen container. This was Todd's old litter scoop, and then there's this big bottle of water conditioner. So yeah, that's our whole fish drawer thing. Today the fish are going to be getting some bloodworms, freeze-dried bloodworms. Sometimes I'll give them frozen thawed bloodworms, which I also really like. And I always take off the whole lid because then there's like more surface area to feed the tetras, since normally pets will gobble up all their food, and whenever I take off the lid, they like immediately come shooting up to the surface because they know that they're getting food. This is their little ritual. Alright, and it's time for the bloodworms now. Just to put about a pinch in there. The tetras eat really fast, and Pence is a little bit slower, but he almost always gets enough, and I don't want to feed him that much since I don't want to overfeed him. But yeah, that's just what I do in feeding the fish. Not much. So I'm going to end the vlog here. Next video will be out soon, and see you guys.